From Yerevan, this is CivilNet's weekly program, Turkey Over the Mountain. I'm Maria Titizian, and here are the top stories from Turkey for this week. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden is in Turkey for high-level meetings. Also, was America found by Muslims? Plus, what is Turkey's role in the Pan-Armenian Games? And later, see how food diplomacy is working. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden is in Turkey to hold talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu. It is expected that he will try to pressure Turkey to provide access to the Incirlik air base, which is close to ISIS targets inside Iraq and Syria. It is said that a no-fly zone over Syria, something which Ankara has been pushing for, is not part of Biden's agenda. According to the White House, this trip is not about reconciliation between Biden and Erdogan. To remind our viewers, back in October, Biden accused Turkey of supporting anyone who would fight against Assad's regime. He later called Erdogan to apologize for those statements. Biden will also be discussing the issue of putting the peace talks in Cyprus back on track. Because his meetings will be in Istanbul, Biden will not be the first official guest of the controversial presidential palace in the capital Ankara that we reported about last week. And next week, Pope Francis will be in Turkey for a 3-day visit, and it is expected that he will stay at the new palace in Ankara. From there, Pope Francis will go to Istanbul and is scheduled to visit Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's mausoleum, the Hagia Sophia, once the largest Orthodox cathedral, the Blue Mosque, and other religious sites. He will hold a joint worship service with Patriarch Bartholomew of the Greek Orthodox Church. Last week, a statement made by President Erdogan left many people scratching their heads. He claimed that America was not discovered by Christopher Columbus, but rather by Muslims. During the Latin American Muslim Leaders Summit, Erdogan said, Muslim sailors had arrived in the shores of America in 1178. In his diaries, Christopher Columbus referred to the presence of a mosque on top of a mountain in Cuba. End of quote, and said that Islam was widespread by the time European explorers reached the New World. Following this announcement, Erdogan instructed Turkey's schools to adopt a policy of highlighting the contribution of Islam to global science and arts and include the discovery of the New World by Muslims. The Pan-Armenian Games scheduled for 2015 in Armenia will bring together teams from around the world. Armenian athletes from Turkey will also be participating in the Games. As some of the scheduled sporting events will also take place in Nagorno-Karabakh, the teams from Turkey, in consultation with the Armenian authorities, opted not to participate in those events. They thought that the matter had been resolved. However, organizers and athletes were then shocked to learn that after their decision, Turkey's Ministry of National Education applied to that country's foreign ministry to get their opinion regarding the participation of Turkish Armenian athletes. Turkey's MFA stated, quote, even though there aren't any obstacles regarding the participation of the cultural activities and sports competitions organized in Armenia, it has been reported that a part of the competitions will be held in Upper Karabakh, about which Azerbaijan is sensitive, and also that there is no contact between the illegal administration in Upper Karabakh and our country. End of quote. The statement went on to say that they expect that Armenian athletes from Turkey would refrain from going to Karabakh in light of, quote, the level of our relations with Azerbaijan and our policy regarding Upper Karabakh, end of quote. Khashandur Vahakni, an ancient lamb dish named after the Armenian god of war Vahakni, a pre-Christian deity, was the main dish cooked by award-winning chef Grigori Andinyan at a dinner organized as part of the Food for Diplomacy project at Kadir Has University in Istanbul. The university's lifelong education center, in collaboration with its culinary school, invited Andinyan to cook together with the university's students. Armenia was chosen as the first country for the university's project, which aims to harness the common heritage of culinary culture to enhance political, social, and cultural dialogue between Turkey and its neighbors. Organizers say that Armenia was a natural choice to be the first in the series. The menu consisted of dishes served during special events such as New Year, Easter, and other religious holidays, and combined ancient and modern Armenian culinary heritage. The Hrant Dink Foundation is organizing a conference in Ankara entitled Sealed Gate, the Prospects of the Turkey-Armenia Border on November 22 and 23 in cooperation with Ankara University. The conference seeks to address the political, economic, social, humanitarian, environmental, and regional impact of closed borders and the prospect of peace building. A number of academics from Armenia will be participating in that conference. CivilNet will be live streaming the conference in Armenian. You can watch the proceedings on civilnet.am/live. And that is a wrap-up for our program, Turkey Over the Mountain. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Stay with CivilNet.